Shaun, welcome to Gale Force Winds. We're an inspirational podcast, and I want to tell you, your job as MC today here at Central Min 24 was inspirational, it was positive, it was optimistic, peppered with a good bit of humor, but you know it and I know it, there's good things happening in this province. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I've learned some new things today that I wasn't quite aware of. You know, I go to Burlington all the time, my hometown, you know, on the Bayvert Peninsula. There's a lot of people that work in mining from there. I mean, Bayvert, old asbestos mining.
Yeah.
You know, I made that joke. I think we should be bringing it back. But what I found really interesting was hearing from the industry creators and hearing about all the projects that are actually happening from the people who are behind them is different than hearing people who work in the mines who hear rumors and complain about things, or they're excited about something. So this was really, really cool to see, and I think the province has a lot to look forward to based on this. But you know, again, like a Leaf fan, you always get excited about stuff and you just hope it pays off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's always this kind of like reserved, optimistic feel of Newfoundland and Labrador. So I'd love to see this become, you know, a power player in, you know, across the country.
Well, one quick question for you. There's one thing about this place where industry, government, and academia, they all work together. They get the idea that a rising tide floats all boats.
Yeah.
What is the recipe? What is that secret sauce that is here in Newfoundland and Labrador that allows these projects to flourish? What is it, in your opinion?
Well, you know, I couldn't answer that because I don't know what, like there's industry and then there's culture, you know, and pride. Pride is a huge thing that buoys so much of what happens in Newfoundland and Labrador. You know, but then if someone pulls something out from under it, a lot of it crumbles. You know what I mean? And so finding the balance of wanting Newfoundlanders, you know, on the ground. You know, like I say, I grew up in small towns. So for me, I'm not coming at it from a St. John's perspective. I'm coming at it from a very small place perspective, and seeing the ebbs and flows of the positive and the negative and the, you know, the wind at your sails. It's good to see that when these, you know, mining companies are really helping out with a lot of these smaller places. It's important, but it's hard to answer that question because it changes so much. You know, Newfoundlanders are proud people, bottom line, and so when we hear of a project that's going to go, we all get behind it. Oh, it didn't happen. Oh, you know, it's like a roller coaster sometimes. But what I've always said, you know, and I'm a creative, so I write, I create television shows, I make, you know, I do stand-up comedy, I talk about this stuff, I act. But one of the stories that I think is an important story for Newfoundland and Labrador, something that I've always believed in, is I feel like people are the new fish. You know, people are the resource, the most powerful, renewable resource in this province. The one thing that's guaranteed, really, as long as people stay and have babies and keep the population going. That is not something where if so-and-so didn't manage their assets properly and then they lose all capital and then somebody else has to go in and buy. Like, that's an insecure feeling. But what never changes is Newfoundland people. They are always here. When they are here, man, you can't beat that resource.
You're a true ambassador to your town, to your province, to this country. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you. And I didn't even realize Toronto had a hockey team.
Yep, they got one. They got one. Believe me, I know. Ever since I was a little fella, looked like, you know, Grant Fuhr growing up because I was a brown kid with a mustache. I've always known.
Thanks, mate.